recommended the event. They wanted to support the event. However, they did not recommend a dollar amount. The $15,000 was the request of Mr. Lawrence himself. They did recommend the event. They had no issue with the event, but they did not recommend a dollar amount.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to recommend 13,000 to the event.
I have a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
If the advisory board, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, Henrietta, but should it be up to them to make the decision instead of bringing it to the city council? And if that's so, then it should just come to the city council, correct?
They just make a recommendation. They fill the applications and listen to the presentations, which are a lot longer. We try to limit people here. They go
Just
back
go
and
to
forth
them.
and do it. They just make their recommendation. They just make a recommendation to you.
Now, I do have a question. Mrs. Cantu asked how much was in the budget. You said
50.
50,000.
Yes.
We just awarded 30, and we just awarded 7.
So 13 would make 50.
Yes.
Was anything turned in as far as like a report from,
You have all the documents that I have. He did present you one time before, but you have the documents that he submitted. He has not, because of schedule issues, had an opportunity to do a post yet, but I know that he'll have a post.
that's what I was asking, so we could go by that.
Yes.
He has a post report filled out, but when he came to the first meeting, we didn't have a quorum. So when we did the second meeting, he was able to attend. So we're still have him on the schedule to come and do his post report to the board and let us know how everything turned out for his last event.
And those of you who went to the event, it was a very beautiful event.
It was fun.
And brought in a lot of people to the city of Floresville. They spend their monies here in Floresville in the hotels, motels, restaurants. That was a very, very nice event.
Mr. Gibbs, can you make sure that we get that post report in our next meeting?
Yes, ma'am. Sure will.
Did we ever get an accurate amount of what our profit was for that, as far as the beer or the concession?
Concession, yes. We were, after what we paid, we were at 12.5, I believe. 12.5 is what came in at the beer.
That's our profit.
Miss, hopefully that we'll have a meeting with 4A, workshop
Yes, ma'am.
on October the 29th, Tuesday, so we can talk about all those,
And we do,
profits and all
I
that.
mean, that's what we
The
talked
rules
about, or
that
that's
we
when
need
we're
to
having more commercial business come in. And I think it's a great way for us to make extra money and help out the building. And so
yeah.
we're trying to put things together where we can be successful in there.
Yes, definitely, that's why I want to have that meeting.
How many events is he going to have for this year?
He wants
Because I know
to,
he talked about maybe 3 a year.
yes, that's what he's been, 2 to 3 a year, and that's kind of hard for him because he does them in other places too.
Yeah.
So if we can, I know Manuel's done one in the past with us before, so I know he's looking to maybe do 2 a year if possible.
Sounds like they're out of money.
Yeah, we're out of money.
So if we can keep, it'll be a good help to the event center.
Madam Mayor, if I may, just real quickly, I know that on the previous individual, you guys spoke about the concessions, the food, the drinks, and stuff of that nature. I don't know if that's something that wants to be discussed about this. I know that I had spoken previously with Councilman Ortiz, and he had a great idea, and I see he didn't share it this evening, regarding parking, about charging for parking and the city being able to get those profits. I just wanted to share that with council.
Well, if there is a workshop with 4A, I think that could be a topic of discussion.
We've discussed it for the professional fights. The only thing the reason why we didn't do it is because we have to get like fire department involved to make sure we have a direct route where we're not backing up traffic on the highway.
Yes, sir.
And we'd have to have a lot of staff.
I'm sorry, can I put in my 2 cents
It
on
was
that?
full.
On the parking? From being a promoter, I've been doing it for a few years now, and I've seen other, I keep track of other promotions, see what they're doing and stuff. When I've seen actual events charge for parking, they usually hand that over to a local boys club or something as a fundraiser for them,
School club or something.
something.
But we're doing it for the event center. We're in the hole with it.
Well, yeah, I
We're
understand
trying
that.
to make,
I'm just saying that this is what I've usually seen, because you're gonna require staffing. So what is your profit gonna be at the end of the day when you have to pay people hourly wage or whatever? But when you get, you know, you do it as a fundraiser for clubs or whatever, it's free labor, you know. I just put my 2 cents.
And that's what we discussed, I discussed it with the fire department, the volunteer fire department, so we told them that we'd give them like a percentage back to them on what we made, so they're willing to work with us and park cars, because they do it at the Floresville Tigers games, so they're pretty familiar how to handle the situation, and they're willing to negotiate or even want to do it, to take a percentage out of that too as well, or even go 50-50, however you want to do it.
We can discuss that at the workshop.
Yes,
And I know-
restrain from our.
Yeah, restrain from our, also, I wanted to ask go ahead, Ms. Blair.
And I know that the first time that Ricky had his first event over there, I was still at the event center, and he did charge for parking, but, you know, I never got a report of what, but I don't know if he even made that much, because he had to pay the workers and everything.
we have a motion on the floor. don't we?
Okay, let's,
So we don't have a
yeah,
second.
we're straying from what's at hand. I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Jimenez to approve disbursement of hotel motel tax money in the amount of $13,000 to TMB and PRB Entertainment. Do I have a second? I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? I'll give it one more try. Okay.
Did you say that?
No, I make the motion. We need
Yeah.
a second.
I have a motion, but I don't have a second. So if not, the motion dies for lack of a
Wait.
second.
You said,
Yes.
wait.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor, council, listen. I have a motion on the floor to approve disbursement of hotel motel tax in the amount of $13,000 by Councilman Jimenez. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Ortiz. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Was that 4, Ms. Flores?
Yes.
4-0, thank you very much. Moving on to item 3F, consideration action to approve resolution 2019-020.
I have, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question? And I had it right here and I lost it. I wanted to ask Ms. Turner, let me find it first.
It's just regarding, but
On the hotel motel, last year we only spent $37,100. We had a balance of $12,900. Where is that money? Do we get it?
It's still there, it doesn't go away because of what we spent, you didn't spend that, you spent more than that last year. Helen, you have those numbers in front of you?
This is what Helen gave. No, oh, it's got HM.
Henrietta,
I mean, I'm sorry.
HT.
So those numbers that you have, well, we spent 61,500.
That was 2017, 2018.
Yes.
Okay, 2018, 2019, we spent $37,100. I thought we had spent more, but this is what the paperwork
Okay,
that
so
I
we
got.
get to the when we get to the 37,000, I know that the beer festival came up, and we said it was gonna be, there was a post event, so it was gonna be in the next fiscal year, which is this year that we have right now.
That we
But
just
that-
did.
Right, so that funding is just there, and Helen, your interim finance director, can tell you that it's just there in the, it's just there in the hot tax, it wasn't expended, it didn't make it go away. But the revenue that we anticipated came in less, and Helen helped me out, you're better on numbers than I am. I think we anticipated $200,000, so we projected to be the revenue, but I think the revenue came in about $180,000.
I think 160,
160.
164,000.
164,000. So even though we had thought we would receive 200,000, we only received 164,000. But that money does not go away, it's there, in the hotel motel.
Does it go to
taxes.
the reserves or does it go to a different?
This would not be applied to our 301 general fund, it would not
I know
be
that,
applied to
but it
that.
goes to the
It's in the
hotel.
hotel motel reserve, yes.
Okay.
So like a pending balance.
Right, it doesn't, you don't lose it because it's a
It's
special
there.
allocation of money. It's special
I mean,
fund.
I know we don't lose it, I just wanna know where it goes to.
Yeah,
I And so at any point, some of you okay to do a budget amendment to increase the funding that we pay the funds for the donation or the support, you may do so. That time there are funds available, but we just budgeted 50,000.
Yeah, it just goes into fund balance, that's all.
I just wanna know that is there legally. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item F, consideration action to approve resolution 2019-020 as a resolution of the City Council of the City of Floresville adopting a limited English proficiency plan for the City of Floresville, Texas.
Okay, what you have before you is a resolution. This LEP plan is a conditional requirement put on by USDA for anyone that gets state and local, or receives federal funds from any state and local agencies. And the executive order 13166, titled Improving Access to Services for Persons with Limited English Proficiency, indicates a differing treatment based upon a person's inability to speak, read, write, or understand English is a type of national origin discrimination. It directs each agency to publish guidelines for its respective recipients, clarifying their obligation to ensure that such discrimination does not take place. And it was concluded that there is no geographic concentration of any type of LEP individuals in the service area for the City of Floresville of the majority of the population. 72.46% speak only English. As a result, there are few social service professional and leadership organizations within the City of Floresville area that focus on outreach to LEP individuals. The City of Floresville City Council members and staff are most likely to encounter LEP individuals through office visits, phone conversations, notifications from public works staff of impacts on services and attendance of City Council meetings. Due to the very small local LEP population, the City of Floresville does not have a formal outreach procedure in place. However, when and if the need arises for LEP outreach, the City of Floresville considers staff preparing a document, advertisement, or schedules of meetings for which the target audience is expected to include LEP individuals. Then documents, meeting notices, flyers, and agendas will be printed in an alternative language based on the known LEP population. And basically, the plan is a USDA template. All I did was just fill in the blanks. Then I went to the census, and the information or the statistics that I just provided for you is from the census. So most of the people, I don't think that we need to formally outreach the LEP plan because most of the people already speak English here. Or if they speak, the only other language other than English is Spanish. And we have translators here within the city that can speak Spanish. So English and Spanish are the two dominant languages. So I don't think we need to adopt or formally do an outreach on the limited proficiency plan.
So you're saying that we don't need to pass the resolution?
We need to pass the resolution, but we're not really actively
Involved.
yes, because we don't have that population, it's so small. Most of
But it would be better if we would pass.
the resolution, it's a requirement
Yeah,
actually.
I move to approve this resolution,
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor.
the 2019-020.
Any citizens' comments pertaining to this item?
Pardon me?
Any citizens' comments pertaining to this? Okay, if not, all those in favor of approving resolution 2019-020, please raise your right hand. Thank you so much. Moving on to item H, consideration and action excuse me, to approve resolution 2019-021. That's a resolution by the City Council of the City of Floresville, Texas, appointing a new board member to the Board of Directors of the Riverbend Community Development Corporation.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. In your packet, I did a quick, just a simple overview to let you know, to bring you up to speed on what happened. So on September 18th, Mr. Paul Sack announced his resignation from the board effective as of October 1. And then it was brought to the city's attention, to my attention, that there are some missing members of the department. So after reaching and talking to Fulbright and Associates, that is our bond counsel and their legal attorney. He recommends that we do a resolution appointing. I did break it down as to how many on the board. There's a total of 9, and the city gets to appoint 3. So I am recommending or requesting that we appoint Ben Reed from EDC, and he has gotten permission from his board to select.
I recommend Marissa Jimenez.
Hold on, I'm letting Mrs. Turner finish her statement before we go any further.
Yes, and then.
She's making recommendations.
Yes, and then we also have a citizen who has requested, and you have that in your packet, as well as myself. There is tax money and things we need to get ready. There's some things that we have to do in reference to the banking that we need to move forward. Staff has not really been active in this. As you see, I just put a copy of the article in the newspaper, and I look forward to whatever. But you do have 3. We also have to. The county represented by Albert Gomez, we have to reach out to Judy Referini's office as well as Mr. Kempel's office to have a representative for them. There's one for the hospital, there's one for Evergreen, and so I look forward to your recommendation because we need to have that so that we can put it into the resolution.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry?
We didn't get ready for it.
Okay. I do have a recommendation on the council. Mrs. Martinez?
I recommend Daniel Tejada for this board.
So that's one of the 3. There's a total of 3 slots.
One of the,
So she was able to make a recommendation before me, Mayor?
I just said, we have a recommendation on the
No,
floor
I
by
understand,
you.
but I made a recommendation.
I just said that, Councilman Jimenez,
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm replying to you. I just referred to your first
You just passed me
recommendation.
up, that's it.
Council, come on.
I have a recommendation for Marissa Jimenez by Councilman Jimenez. I have a recommendation by Mrs. Martinez for Daniel Tejada. I said that
The
earlier.
question I have to ask your attorney is, can any council member be a part of the Riverbank?
I would have to look at that. I would have to look and see what bylaws indicate on that one. Okay, so if I may, Mayor, just
Yes.
real quick. So we have a recommendation from
EDC for Ben Reed.
for Ben Reed, then you have Marisa Jimenez, and then Daniel Tejada. I would have to look at it a little bit to see what bylaws indicate on that.
but the other 2 we can go ahead and put in.
Yes.
In order for me to
I've got a
give you
question.
my opinion, I'd have to look at the bylaws and stuff of that nature before I can go ahead and give you that.
If the bylaws allow it,
I'd have
Marissa,
to,
if they don't, that's fine.
I'd have to have an opportunity to look at that, Mayor,
Yes.
if I may.
Now, let me ask you, because the actual agenda item says appointing a new board member.
Mhm.
Then we got to 3?
You have 3, according to the bylaws, you have 3 appointees to that board.
But it says 1 member, it doesn't
A
say
new board
members.
member,
So you just want to appoint the 1 board member and come back
and
and
they
meet
come
again?
back and do
Okay,
that.
we'll do,
Or table it and.
Or,
do it over.
because it may be best that you table it at this time, and then we can do all 3 at your November meeting if you like.
Well, we could do one, I'll resend mine, and
Great.
The ordinance has to have all their names in it, and that's why it's blank. And so,
And since it does say a new board member, it's not plural, I think that my suggestion would be, if I may, is basically to table it and then bring it in, fix the resolution, and then indicate the members that want to be considered for it.
I've got a
But-
question.
That's my recommendation.
Yes, sir.
I said, I recommend that we do one, and then we could do the other 2, if possible. So I'll resend mine, Ms. Gloria.
Okay.
So am I clear, or did I just misunderstand that it needs to be all 3?
No, you can do one at a time, I just thought for efficiency, Mayor, that would be fabulous, but you can do one. It does indicate today, appointing a new board member, singular, so you can
Okay.
do one and then set it up again and do the other 2.
Okay, so I will go back, entertain a motion from Mrs. Martinez to appoint Daniel Tejada. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Cantu. Any citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
On our last board, we had the FEDC director on it, Tommy Baker. He's been on it, he signed the checks. So the FEDC director, Ben Reed, would be your first choice as a resident that we'd like to see, because you have to have somebody that's gonna be signing checks, and Tommy Baker is one of the signers. Now he's gone, and Ben Reed is a full-time city, and he understands the big dollars, what we're doing over there.
Who else can sign the check besides Mr. Baker? Who's been signing the checks?
Paul Sachs,
Okay, well, Mr. Tejada will take Paul Sachs' place.
he can't,
He can,
no.
cannot-
Paul Sachs was president.
Okay.
That's the board.
Well, maybe you need to elect your
President?
boards.
Who's your president now?
It was.
They have to get the 3 people on, and they have to do their thing.
Have to elect officers.
That's got to elect officers.
Yeah.
But that's still not gonna allow Henry to
We would need to,
sign.
we would need to formulate the board, because the representative for Mr. Kemple and Ms. Severini are no longer active. And so you would need to establish the board, we have to get representation from them, and then once the board is established, then they would vote on who would be the chairperson. But he, as I said, again, Ben has already received approval from his board. You could do it one at a time, and you could pick one you want to do today, and then we can put it on the agenda, and I'll make sure that there's an S.
You already have a motion
We'll,
and a
hey,
second.
we'll have a motion and a second, and then, can we do it, on that 29th? Can we put Ben in there?
You could do the other two then.
29.
Oh, just
Actually,
Ben's already in
that
there.
is a workshop. You agreed to post that as a workshop.
But we can have a meeting before,
Then you would call it to have a special meeting in order
just to
take
put that
action.
on there?
Yes.
I would need to have 2 people to agree and to sign for a
Okay.
meeting, to have a special meeting for that to be on the
Yeah,
agenda.
10 minutes before or something, whatever.
But we could start it at 6, and it's gonna take us real fast, and,
It's your call.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of appointing Daniel Tejada to the Board of Directors of Riverbend, please raise your right hand. 4-0, thank you. Okay, moving on to item I. Consideration and action to negotiate the lease of the cell phone tower located on Standen Street with Unison?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Okay, in your packages, you have email that you should have received from myself, that I received and was contacted by Logan, I don't remember his last name, from Unison. And so we had some discussions. I did share this email with the city attorney, and she emailed back, said she had issues with it. So bottom line, it starts about the city of Floresville. We actually have 2 towers, one on Standish, one on Hospital. They're usually the one on Standish. I think someone called it Lodi location. And so what they're proposing is to buy our leases 15 years in advance. But we're already getting the funds that we're getting funding. And then 50 revenue sharing, 50% on whatever new tenants that he gets, if they go actively, they would do that. One time, about 3 or 4 years ago, the city was offered another issue, but the issue that the city manager had with it was that they offered to do so in perpetuity. We didn't want that. And the other one was to purchase that, and I wasn't interested in selling that land lease. This one has neither of those in there, and it says so. Our proposal will not be for perpetual easement, nor we offer to purchase the land. And so if you do quick math, and 15 years of our lease is about $300,000 that they would be able to advance us, and then we will receive 50% of whatever tenancy they add on to there as revenue going forward. We right now get about $1,200 a month, okay? About $1,200 a month is what we receive for that particular lease. I'm sorry, $1,500 a month that we get, and if you add that times 15 years, it comes to about $300,000. So I wanted to ask for permission to negotiate that.
I'll make a motion for the city manager to negotiate that.
what do you think?
I think it's an awesome deal. It will actually get us to maybe after red and into black. And you're not giving up your rights. And they will actively put things on the tower that you will get some additional revenue as well.
Is it gonna affect any other, anybody else that is connected? Is
Well,
there?
we're not using, no, they just buy up their lease. We're not using that tower. It's empty, it's a water tower. So it's nice, it's gonna make some revenue, and then you still
I'll
get
go
to
ahead and
maintain that.
second.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Jimenez. I have a second by Councilwoman Cantu. Any citizens' comments? And by the way, I looked over that leaf and it is an exception.
Yes, it is a very good one.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to item J, consideration and action to approve budget amendment for transferring of forfeiture funds to general funds for the purposes of a grant match for the Floresville, for the police department vehicle.
Okay, what this budget amendment is, actually, y'all know that we got the $69,000 approved for the USD PD vehicles. And what this budget amendment does is just posture our line items to be in capital outlay so that we can have the matching cost in line and that we can have the grant cost in line. So I propose doing the transfers for the budget amendment and the budget adjustment. And I spoke to the chief about that, and he was in agreement that once we make the expenditure and purchase the vehicles, and I do an estimate of funds to USDA, and we get the $69,000 reimbursement, I'm gonna put that money right back into that bottom budget adjustment there, the total $69,000, so that those line items will get reimbursed. Again, I'm just transferring the line item to capital outlay so that we can purchase the vehicles.
I'll make a motion, President.
I second.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Jimenez, a second by Mrs. Martinez. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item K.
I vote for my,
Item K, consideration and action to approve a pay increase determined by council for the collective bargaining agreement for the Assistant Chief of Police. We have the chief here.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I was asked to give my recommendation on a pay increase on Assistant Chief Hayden. First of all, I'd like to say that he has been doing an outstanding job. Just in case you hadn't heard that, but he is doing an outstanding job there at the police department. He has accomplished many tasks that we, him and CID have taken together. One being the evidence room. They have reorganized it. We've gotten rid of a lot of old evidence by destruction orders. And also we have recently sold a lot of seized property by order as well. We received a little over $2,700 for that property. The recommendation I believe you have before you, if not, I can verbally give you the recommendation.
Do they have copies?
This is what they have.
Okay, I got a copy.
Again, ultimately, the decision comes from you, so it's all based on you guys. But I do recommend a 3% for Assistant Chief.
Can you please go ahead and read what you have written down for the rest of the audience to?
Me?
Yes. What your proposal is. What's your proposal?
It's a 3% raise. Of course, I addressed it to all council members. I actually recommend 3% raise for Assistant Chief Hayden. His currently hourly rate is $39.35 an hour. The 3% will actually bump him up to $1.18 more, which come out to $40.53 an hour.
Okay, any questions by council for the chief?
I have some comments and some questions.
Yes, sir.
I like his recommendation, but due to our status and our financial budget, we're in a deficit. Is that fair, Ms. Martinez? We're in a
For
deficit?
last year, I can't tell you, as I reported, we need to get the bank recs done, and then they're gonna all be rerun, and then we'll determine how much money is left. But this is current fiscal year anyway.
Right.
To the audit itself.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
How much was that?
The audit showed about
About
$130,000,
300.
but in general fund,
In general
but
fund.
it was about 100 and some thousand.
It was 334.
Okay.
At this time, I cannot, vote for this approval. If council wants to give them that raise, that's their thing. But at this time, I cannot, with those numbers that we have. He is a good officer, a good assistant, but hopefully after this financial budget numbers that you bring us, I don't know. But we're deep in the red. So at this moment, I'll let anybody else make a comment,
Okay,
and if they want to vote on it,
thank you, Councilman. Any other comments? Okay. If no other comments, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to table it until we find out what our financial figures are, and then we'll discuss it.
I may add that I know that we talked about, once we get our budget or our finances all, straightened out or whatever needs to be done, I know that we talked about amending raises for, some of the city employees,
Right.
plus, so he would, we could recommend it.
Correct.
plus, Madam Mayor, like, we had just discussed, there's a good sign that we might be getting some other revenues from that tower. So, we'll wait on that.
But that's not long term,
What?
the tower.
Yes. She's gonna go into negotiations with that.
Yeah, I think what the councilman's trying to say, don't correct me if I'm wrong, he's saying that that's a one-time fix, it's not
Right.
perpetual income that would.
Yeah, we're not gonna get it all the time.
Yeah.
It's
It's on the.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to come.
And thank you, Mr. Perry, but you,
Thank you.
understand,
Excuse me, Council, I have Council, Mrs. Kintu, I have a motion on the floor to table item K. Any other comments before I go for a second?
I guess our finance person would probably be the one, but like I said, you still don't have the true numbers. And I know, again, I repeat myself, we had talked about if everything was okay, whatever, we would do, amend the budget to where we would be able to help.
Yeah, as soon as the bank reconciliations are complete and we rerun the reports at that point, if y'all wanna call a special meeting and it's on Ms. Turner, then we can do that.
Yeah.
So, any other comments? I have a motion on the floor to table item K. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Ortiz. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to item L, consideration and action to approve a pay increase determined by the council for employment agreement for the chief of police.
Mayor, it's a moot point because the chief's salary is adjusted higher than the highest paid employee. And so you all didn't make any changes, so this time there's no need for that.
So we don't have to.
I've got a question for you concerning this. Okay, when Mr. Hayden got a pay raise, what, 6 months ago, or 4 months ago, whenever? Was that correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
What, did the chief get the same?
The chief's salary is set at 12% per contract, the highest base of the highest paid employee.
Okay, I
So
understand
he is in
that.
compliance now.
He is in compliance?
He's in compliance now, is that right? Your check is in compliance? Margaret, he's in compliance?
I believe so.
Yes, so he's getting paid 12% higher than the highest paid.
Okay, he's
But
coming.
if you make a change to Mr. Hyden, then you have to make a change for the chief.
For how much?
When Chief Hyden was promoted, I'm not in compliance as far as 12% as per the contract. When he was promoted to chief, assistant chief,
Effective as of October 1?
no, that was in I had said,
When was that, Mr.?
April, May, when he was promoted,
So do you
and my
want
pay didn't change.
to address it at this time, based on Mr. Hyden's current salary?
Correct.
Then that would make it 10% higher, 12% higher than what Mr. Hyden is making right now. Want to do that, Tony? You have a calculator?
You should phone him.
I don't have my phone.
Okay, well, you know what it is, so
Yeah, can you
whatever
make a
needs to be done.
recommendation to- If you'd like to make a recommendation, per his contract, and I did include, I believe, a copy of his contract, that it should be higher than, 12% higher than the highest rating at this point, which is Mr. Hyden.
Okay, council, are you clear on what we're talking, what
Yes.
they're saying?
Yes.
So, are there any questions or comments by the council?
And so it would be effective as of October 1. And then just to remind you that if you make any changes to assistant chief, it moves as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chief. All right.
If no other questions, do I have a motion?
Well, we're not
Well, we have, there's not consideration, actually, it was supposed to have taken place already, and it wasn't.
Yes, you all can adjust it at this time if you care to.
That's what we're trying to say. You can adjust it as of right now for.
No, this has to be from October 1st, whenever the change was taking place.
You can make it effective as of October 1. You just need to make a motion to approve to pay effective as of October 1. Chief Hyden, 12% higher than the highest paid personnel per his contract, which is in his contract.
Okay, so you didn't need a motion. I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Jimenez. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Ortiz. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Is that what the
I was gonna say.
That's what his contract is separate than the CBA.
Okay, that concludes our meeting. No other business on the agenda for tonight. This meeting is concluded at 8:06. Thank you.
No, I was voting. I didn't know if everybody voted.